It's day 2 of We Share Fest and we're talking to Rob, one of the founders of Croqqer. Can you tell us something about Croqqer?
Yeah, love to. We started with Croqqer late September, just after the speech of our new king, where he touched on the participation society. Croqqer is a platform for people in connecting them in their neighborhoods, where we actually help people utilize their talents and spare time. It's about doing jobs, all kind of jobs in and around the house, your house, my house, which could be at one hand jobs you do with your hands, gardening or helping furnish or helping on mounting an IKEA set, or all kind of knowledge jobs like, for instance, help on your taxes or your accounting or building a website.
And you're founded in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Which areas are you working in?
We're working in all regions in the Netherlands. We actually are now up and running in the south of Limburg, in Friesland, in de Achterhoek in Twente, in de Randstad, and we actually split the Netherlands in 44 regions. And we are now active in 23 regions, and almost every week we are adding a region today.
And you have separate offices, or how does that work?
Now, well, we have a office, but we are a horizontal, more virtual team of now 34 people who are working, each of them in their region on the ground. We are also actually connecting to local communities like buurthuizen. How would you translate that in communities?
Community houses, maybe?
Something like that. That's societies, student societies, sport societies, and the like, in what's called the Friends of Croqqer program. Each of them are supplying an ambassador, help make noise, use our platform also for their volunteering work. A small community needs some 150 volunteers to keep the ball rolling, and also we give back a quarter of our revenue stream to all those communities and societies.
Yeah, because what is your business model? How do you sustain?
But well, hard work at one end, passion is one thing, but from a monetization, financial perspective, swapping a job or volunteering is free. That doesn't make us anything. On the paid job, there is a service fee of 20%, of which a quarter is returned to the communities. A quarter goes to the tax authorities. A quarter goes to the community manager as income, and the last quarter is needed to build a platform, to build a brand, and to keep all things running.
But what's the difference between paid services and free services? For example, when I offer to do to mow the lawn or something,
Yep.
Do I get paid for that, or can I pay someone to do that for me, or how does that work?
Well, that's totally up to yourself. When you post a task on Croqqer, then you can actually decide what you want to pay for it, whether you want to pay for it, whether you want to swap, or whether you need to volunteer. To give an idea, if we look through the current set of tasks, we got intriguing examples. For instance, a person asks their sofa to be brought to the apartment in Austria, and as a return gift, the person who brought it was allowed to stay a week in that apartment.
Oh, so it's not always a financial reward.
Exactly.
It can also be doing something back for someone.
That's one, and it can also be what you might call a social reward, in terms of a smile, of helping an elderly person who simply hasn't got the money and needs some extra care, or also would simply like to drink a cup of coffee with a person because the person itself is a bit alone.
And what percentage of the tasks that are offered are paid, and what are the what?
But
Yeah.
currently, we just relaunched our website last week, where we fully integrated this threefold approach of tasks. What we see now is that around half of the tasks are free in terms of either swapping or either volunteering. The other half of the tasks are being paid.
And of the paid jobs, what kind of percentage do you ask to make the platform?
The service fee is 20%, and a quarter of that is returned to the local communities or societies, sportverenigingen, buurthuizen. Another quarter is returned to the responsible community manager and its or her team. A quarter goes to the tax, BTW, and the remainder, 5% of the 20%, is used to build the platform and keep it in the air.
Oh, so you do have to pay taxes.
Yep.
And why? How does that?
That's fiscal regulation. You can compare Croqqer like a mini temp agency, uitzendbureau. And the rules are that if you actually are supplying such a service, that say 20% of your added value revenue stream should be brought to the taxes.
So what kind of percentage is left for the person offering the job?
80%.
80%. Okay.
Yeah, the majority. Yeah.
And what brought you to building a platform like Croqqer?
Yeah. I'm 57. A proud father and married with a father of 4 children. And especially when our children were young, were on their Saturday going to the sport, we had a private taxi company, my wife and I. And on Sunday we were sitting on the bench, tired, hard work, and there was a whole list of tasks to be done. And we try to find people to do the lawn mowing, painting and other tasks in and around our house. But it's very hard to find people. Whilst at the same time there might be a person 3 doors away or 3 streets away, a neighbor who would be willing to pick up such a job, either in exchange or make some money. So that was the background where technology now is making it possible to connect people to launch Croqqer.
And what do you see in the future of Croqqer? What would you like in 10 years? How would you want Croqqer to look like?
On 10 years time frame, we want to be part of life on a global basis.
Okay, so around the world.
Around the world. Our ambitions are high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you see the future of the collaborative economy?
That's a good question. I had the luck that on the Wisher Fest in Paris, where we are standing now, to be there in the 2nd year in a row. A few observations. Many startups which were here a year ago do not exist anymore. That's one thing. I think it's a bit like a pendulum which is balancing from one end to the other end. There is a category of people here which are very idealistic. Yesterday I found myself in a session where I thought I was taught to be learning a new nationale to sing, more communistic approach, very idealistic. Whilst on the other hand, you see big outfits like Airbnb, BlaBlaCar, truly picking up as a business, and very intriguingly, the old economy, between brackets, the existing businesses, especially in France, both companies like La Poste, Castorama, and some other huge corporations are embracing the sharing economy frantically. As they see that also as a part of their evolving business model of the future, not only as a competition but also as an opportunity. For instance, the guy of La Poste was very clear. He said, well, we also operate a lot of cars, we have a lot of room and a lot of spare cars and a lot of spare rooms. The essence for the sharing economy is spotting rest capacity and activate that one. Well, also in those big corporations there is a lot of rest capacity. So I think it's there to stay. At the same time, also one of the remarks made that we are here at the Weezerfest the 1% happy few who truly believe in it. And I think it will take at least twice the time in our worst nightmare on how on speed on how this will be implemented in our day-to-day life.
And what do you think is the biggest challenge in this?
The biggest challenge, as with many things, it's about getting people acquainted. In marketing terms, promote your new service, explaining why what the burning need actually is solving that service. Well, to do that you need big dollars or euros. Otherwise, you simply won't get there. Yeah, and so there's a big hurdle to take.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, and
Welcome.
enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you, and you. Bye.